Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron, and welcome back today to another video. Everton have confirmed that club captain Seamus Coleman has signed a new one-year contract extension, taking his Everton contract until the end of June 2023. The Everton captain signed his contract earlier today and was presented with it over in Florida in front of the entire Everton squad. Marcel Brand's done a little bit of a speech and presented Seamus with the contract, which was then signed. Obviously, this is absolutely fantastic news for everybody at the football club. Seamus, us as Evertonians, the club themselves. Seamus Coleman has been a player who has dedicated his entire career to Everton Football Club. He's been very loyal. He's given us his best years. And although, we're sitting here today and we know that Seamus Coleman probably hasn't got another 38 games of a Premier League season left in him, and we know that ideally we'll be going out and signing a right back within the next couple of weeks or so. He'll be coming in and playing as the number one, and it'll mean Seamus will drop back into, sort of a backup role, if you like. It still doesn't mean that, we didn't want to keep him at the football club. It still doesn't mean that, having a player like Seamus Coleman around the football club isn't vitally important, because it is vitally important. Seamus knows the club inside out. He knows what it means to be an Evertonian. He knows the expectations of the fans. He knows the expectations of the club as well. And having a player like that around is just an absolute necessity for me, an absolute necessity. And Seamus, of course, has been an absolutely fantastic footballer for Everton over the years, and still remains to be an absolutely fantastic footballer as well. I remain with my thought of saying that if Seamus Coleman plays 10-15 games next season, pretty much, all of those 10 or 15 games he'll play really, really well in. He only sort of struggles when he's got to play over a consistent sort of, 2, 3, 4 games, and his fitness starts to show up a little bit. When he's in and out and he's coming in every now and then, he typically puts in a fantastic performance. And like I said, I think it's fantastic news that Seamus is staying on at the football club. Obviously the club captain, which is great as well. And again, like I said, an Everton icon. I know that word gets thrown about, and I know not a lot of Evertonians are, like that phrase or like that saying, certainly about players that, haven't won a trophy at Everton. But look, there's no denying it. Seamus Coleman has given Everton Football Club his entire career. We might be sitting here now saying, Seamus Coleman's coming towards the end of his career. He signed a new one-year contract extension. But, again, 4, 5, 6 years ago, when Seamus was in the absolute peak of his career, and he was, the best right back in the Premier League, arguably even the best right back in Europe, and he had sides like Manchester United. I remember David Moyes going to Manchester United and heavily wanting to sign Seamus Coleman. I remember Bayern Munich being interested in him at one point, and Seamus come out, even in those times, and said pretty much what he's saying, now, and that's that Everton is his football club. He wants to stay at Everton. He enjoys playing for Everton Football Club, and he's got no interest in leaving the club, which is absolutely amazing, of course. Seamus did have an interview yesterday with Everton FC. He sat down on Everton's official YouTube channel as well. He said, I'm very happy everyone around the football club, and I'm sure all the fans know how much this club has meant to me from day one. It is a massive honour to extend my time here. It was about getting my head down and to keep working hard like I've always done, and the club decided to reward me with that. It's something I'm very happy with. Hopefully now I can keep going as long as possible, give my experience to the younger lads, help and support them in any way I can, and contribute on the pitch as much as possible. Discussions with Marcel, the board and the manager were straightforward. It's not something that I just wanted to be given. I worked very hard last season and thought I did quite well in the games that I played in. Every day in training I pushed myself to the limits and did all I could to stay and play for a big football club like this. I'm very thankful to Marcel, the manager, the chairman and the board to get this done. So you can see how thankful Seamus Coleman is to remain at Everton there, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic to hear. And like I said, Seamus is always spoke like this about Everton Football Club. Seamus has always had this pride, this passion to play for the football club, this sort of loyalty and love. Let's be honest, it's love. Seamus Coleman's an Evertonian. He's an Evertonian, and that's the reason why a lot of us as Evertonians are sort of just hoping that we get to win a major trophy, whilst Seamus is at the football club, because it would be a real shame, pardon the pun, but it would be a real shame if a player like Seamus Coleman leaves without winning a major honour at Everton. We had it with Leighton Baines, didn't we, a couple of years ago, season before last. Leighton Baines retired at the end of the season, and there was no fans in the stadium. He hadn't won a major trophy with Everton, and it was sort of like, there was a very bitter feeling left in a lot of our sort of mouths, I think, and not only because obviously Leighton Baines was retiring and he was a fantastic footballer, but also because we never got to say a goodbye to Leighton Baines, and he never got to sort of lift the trophy that we all wanted to see him lift. And the hope is that that's not the case with Seamus Coleman. The hope is that by the time Seamus Coleman leaves Everton Football Club, he leaves having won an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup or a Premier League or a Champions League, whatever it may be. I know some of those mightn't be very realistic, but the hope is that Seamus gets to lift the trophy as Everton captain, because that's, let's be honest, that's what we all want, and that's what he wants more than any other. And he's right, he's worked hard, Seamus Coleman. He's certainly still got something to offer Everton Football Club, in my opinion. Look, it's a mad one, isn't it, because I'm sitting here today, happy that Seamus has signed the contract extension, and I think it's absolutely brilliant for the football club and in terms of Seamus as a player. But then I also don't want Seamus to be playing 38 games of football next season in the Premier League. So it's a bit of a mad one. I'm sitting here saying, yeah, that's great, he signed a new contract, brilliant, one of our, key players, our club captain. But, I hope he doesn't play every game next season. And that's not, anything against Seamus. That's just because, obviously, and Seamus will recognise this as well, with his age and his, his stamina, and at this point in his career, if Everton really want to get to the stages where we are winning trophies and Seamus is able to lift, an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, whatever it may be, then unfortunately that's going to have to be with a new, younger right back who's going to come in and take that place. But that doesn't mean that Seamus Coleman hasn't got something to offer. He's absolutely right there. In a lot of the games that he played last season, he was very, very good in them. And I have got no doubt that if Seamus Coleman steps in for 5, 10, 15 games next season for Everton, let's say we bring in another right back, let's say for argument's sake Denzel Dumfries comes into the football club and he starts 85% of games next season, and Seamus Coleman starts 15%, I've got no doubt in my mind that in every one of those 15% of games that Seamus plays in, he'll play really, really well, because he does. He comes in and typically when he hasn't played for a while, or when he's had a little bit of a rest, he performs really, really well. He's always one of the best players on the pitch. He's won countless Man of the Match awards doing that. Like I said before, it's when he has to play week in, week out, and you start to see the fitness take a toll on him, and you start to see, the fact that other players are, a little bit quicker than him and a little bit younger than him getting around him. That's when it starts to take a toll. But Seamus Coleman on his day, a fit Seamus Coleman is still one of the best right backs in the country, whether people want to admit to it or not. And I do think he's a massive asset for the football club. It's not like we're sitting here saying, oh, Seamus has signed a new 1-year contract, but it's completely, sentimental reasons. He doesn't offer Everton anything. He's not going to be, in and around the squad next season. He's the club captain. Not only does he offer that experience to the younger players within the squad and those that are coming through the ranks and trying to make a name for themselves, but he also offers that sort of mentality that we need, in players coming into the squad in terms of signings, and even if those signings are 25, 26, 27 year olds, they need to understand what it means to play for Everton Football Club, what it means to play for us Evertonians, and give 110% and work your bottom off in every single time you put that shirt on. And Seamus will be able to relay that to, like I said, not only the younger lads but all of the new signings coming in as well. And ultimately, look, it's fantastic for all parties involved. Fantastic for Seamus, fantastic for us as fans, fantastic for the football club as well, to keep such a valued member of the squad around. And like I said, my hope is that before we see Seamus Coleman hanging up his boots, before we see Seamus Coleman leaving Everton Football Club, he leaves having won a trophy, he leaves having won a major honour, because that's what he deserves. Seamus is a player who's dedicated his entire career to Everton Football Club, and again, like I said, at this point it might be a situation of, oh yeah, but where else was he going to go? But that wasn't the case 5, 6, 7 years ago, when Seamus had offers from Manchester United, Bayern Munich, some of the biggest clubs in world football, and he could have easily jumped ship, he could have easily moved on, but he didn't. He stayed loyal and he wanted to stay at Everton. So there you go, brilliant news, fantastic news for everybody involved. Seamus Coleman has signed a new 1-year contract extension with Everton, taking his current contract until the end of June 2023. Let us know your thoughts thoughts on it in the comments section down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Brilliant news. Let's hope Seamus can lift a trophy before the end of his Everton career. And yeah, fantastic that he signed a new 1-year contract extension. So big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.